Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. So this video is going to be more for the Dislyte nerds out there. Hello! So the thing that I'm going to test for today is to show you guys just something very interesting about her kit, which I don't think any other Esper works the same way. Maybe Jiangman, okay? Maybe I was totally wrong about Jiangman the whole time. I didn't even realize this about her. So what I'm actually going to try to prove to you is quite a few interesting things about her debuff, which is EMBLA'S debuff. So the first thing that I want to test out is whether or not attack buffs actually affect her debuff. And by that I mean, when without any attack buff, are we still going to do decent damage? Oh yeah, and one thing that I actually checked with the developers is that her second skill, it doesn't actually detonate the debuff on the boss. It is actually coded, and I feel like this is like wrongly worded as well. The debuff ends early. That's not true. So the thing is, using her second skill, which says detonates the enemy's corrupted seed, it doesn't remove the debuff. Instead, what happens is you actually just deal the damage like that. So the debuff actually still stays on like this. So let's test out without attack buff how much damage we are dealing over here. That is like 37,000 damage or something like that. Now the next thing that I want to test out is what happens when we have an attack buff and when we use when we apply our debuff as soon as we get the attack buff as well, which is like right now. Okay, so we land the attack buff. I mean the debuff, oh my goodness. Okay, so now let's see how much damage we can do with an attack buff. 50,000 damage, right? So that means that her debuff damage does scale with attack buff, which kind of makes sense because this is something that we should assume. But obviously that's not all, right? That's not the reason why I made this video. There is something a little bit more interesting than that. So right now what I'm going to show you is I'm not actually going to use my attack buff. I'm just going to use something else, right? I'm not going to buff my attack at the start, okay? So I'm actually just going to land the corrupted seed without any debuffs. Without any attack buff, oh my god. Okay, so land the corrupted seed without any attack buffs. Okay, so now that we have landed the debuff, let's go ahead and buff our attack. So now we have the attack buff, right? But we didn't have the attack buff when we landed it on the boss. Okay, so let's see the damage that we're gonna do when we did not have the attack buff when we landed the debuff, but now we have the attack buff. Take a look at that. 50,000 damage as well. So what this means is her damage is actually scaling based on whether or not she has an attack buff right now rather than when she applied the debuff in the first place. So it's not important that you have the attack buff at the start, it's more important that you have the attack buff when you're about to pop the corrupted seed. But that's not all. There is a lot more to this than whatever that I'm showcasing over here. Now what I'm going to show you is her interaction, or rather her corrupted seed's interaction with defense breaks. So the thing is, we already saw what damage we can do without defense breaks, which is at the start, which is about 30,000+ damage, right? Now let's try to land some defense breaks and see how that changes as well. Okay, so we have one defense break without any attack buff. I mean, the attack buff is not important. Okay, we already covered that. It actually works whenever it's supposed to work. So with the defense break, how much damage is she going to do? Wait, what? Wait, what? Wasn't there like 5 stacks to begin with? Oh, that's because she was immune. So okay, so the thing is, you cannot add stacks to an Esper who is immune. So that's one thing. So immunity, yes, it is a big nerf. It's a big counter to her. Okay, let's see this again. So with a defense break, how much damage are we going to do? Boom, boom, boom. 50,000, was it? Yeah, it's about 50,000 damage, right? Which means that her debuff actually deals more damage onto enemies with a defense break. How crazy is that? But that's not all. That's not all I wanted to test. There's a reason why Gaius is here as well. So what I'm going to do for this current showcase is to... Oh my god, can we just... What I want to do for this current showcase is to use Seer. So there's going to be an interesting effect that we're going to test out. So we have both Seer and defense break. So what's going to happen when we have both of these debuffs over here? Okay, so this is going to be a little bit hard for me to catch, and I might need to take a screenshot in order for me to actually see the number or like whatever damage that we're dealing, because we're going to be using Guy's second skill here, alright? So ready, and let's go. We did 67.6 thousand damage, or rather 67,575 damage. Insane! Her damage actually scales, her debuff damage actually scales not just with attack buff, not just with defense breaks, but also Seer debuffs as well. Now obviously we can sum up this video by giving the best showcase, which is the ultimate DPS that she can do with an attack buff, with a Seer debuff, with a defense break. Let's see how much damage she can do. Okay, my heart is actually pumping a little bit. So we have the attack buff, we have the defense break, and we have the Seer debuff as well. How much damage is this? 94,000 damage! 94,000 damage! Wow, so this is like Is this the maximum amount of damage that she can potentially have with an attack buff, defense break, and seal debuff? Am I missing anything? I feel like I'm missing something. There is definitely one other debuff that increases the damage that enemies receive. Something like that. I'm pretty sure there is something out there. Or maybe something that increases our final damage as well. But that's the interesting thing about her kit, or rather her debuff. I feel like it's extremely unique. Like I said, maybe Jiangman has it, I just didn't pay attention because her damage was not as impactful as what EMBLA can do. And this is amazing, by the way. The damage output is just mind-boggling. So not only does... Yeah, I don't want to repeat myself too many times. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm going to repeat myself one more time. So not only does she scale with attack buff, she also scales with defense breaks and seer debuff as well. Very interesting stuff. So that's it for this video anyway. I just wanted to give you guys a quick showcase on what her debuff looks like and actually just how much we do not understand about what she's capable of at this point of time. But as you can see, very powerful, very, very strong. Now with that said, that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, leave it down in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on your way out. Anyway, this has been Daddy Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.